my channel, LuvvLori. Today's video is going to be an April favorites video. I actually really love favorites videos. They're low-key like one of my favorite ones when I'm actually like watching. I especially love when it's like a mix of beauty and non-beauty products because obviously I love makeup, but it's fun to kind of hear about more lifestyle things too. So I've kind of got a mix of products that I want to talk to you about, so I'm really excited to get into it. Okay, so I would kind of like to start these monthly favorites, but I think it would be really fun to do kind of like a small business or family business feature at the beginning of every video. Especially right now, it's really important to support your small and or local family-owned type businesses. So today's feature for that is going to be Northwood Supply. So they have an Etsy shop, and it's really cute, very much my type of aesthetic. Wall art, home decor items. So it's all handmade. So right now I believe their shop is actually temporarily closed. This happens every so often so they can catch up with orders. They'll shut down for a few days because they hand make every piece. And I'll insert a picture of the Northwood Supply decor that I have in my home, but I'm already have my emails turned on when they open their shop up again so I can order something else. It's my absolute favorite. It's very high quality and it's very unique. So I really appreciate that while I love Target home decor, don't get me wrong, and I spent my fair share of money on Target home decor, it's really cool to have something that is handmade and unique and that not everybody's going to have picked up off the shelf at Target. So be sure to check out their shop if you haven't. It really is great stuff and I'm obsessed with it. I'll link their Instagram below too. Now that we're through the small business feature, definitely a favorite for April, we're going to get into some of the makeup items. So the first one I'm going to talk about, and it's kind of more than just an April favorite, like this is something that I would say would make my yearly favorites. I can see that happening, but I haven't talked about it on the channel before, so I'm really excited. This is the Natasha Denona Super Glow Highlighter in the shade 01 Fair. So I have here used this highlighter up, as you can see. And it just really is beautiful. So I don't know if you've had highlighters where it kind of leaves a cast, especially because I'm so fair. That's something that's really common for me when using highlighter. But this has virtually no underlying color, if that makes sense. I have it on today. It's very glowy, and I love that about it. But you know, some highlighters, if you put on too much, it starts to leave too much of the underlying, like the undertone on your skin. And this doesn't do that. It's basically a translucent undertone. I don't know if I'm describing that well. But you don't see any cast. It's just natural looking, wet looking glow that's really high intensity. So I'm obsessed with this highlighter. You've seen I nearly used it up. I will completely use it up and I will buy it again. Awesome. I've been using it like every day that I've worn makeup this month. When I'm not using the Nikkie Tutorials glazed donut over highlighter that I talked about in my polished video that I will link in the cards. So next up I have the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Duo. So the brand released these duos. I have it in the light version. Again, I talked about it in my How to Look Polished video. And I love that they released these duos because you can, like for a normal person who's not a makeup artist, there's really no reason for me to have 3 shades of contour. I want 1 shade of contour that works on my skin, so this is very nice. I really like the quality of the powders. I will say, I used to love Kat Von D. I now hate Kat Von D, but I love the brand. So when they announced that she was no longer going to be affiliated with the brand anymore, I was really excited because I had been eyeing this to purchase and was like, oh man, but I can't in good conscience. But then when she was no longer affiliated with the brand, this was like the first thing I purchased and I'm obsessed with it. I really like it. Again, I've been using it pretty much every day this month that I've worn makeup, which granted hasn't been a ton of days, but this is a great product and actually relatively reasonably priced for a high-end Sephora brand. So next, I am not always a foundation wearer. So for example, today, didn't want to spend the time, didn't want to bother wetting the beauty blender. I talked about this in my polish video again. Kind of my go-to quick look of choice is to just use concealer on my face and spot conceal the places I want to cover up and brighten. But every so often I want a more like perfected look, and so sometimes I'll wear a foundation. There are several that I like, But my favorite for this month is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I have it in the shade 405. So I think this is the second to lightest shade. And I really, really like it. It's kind of more on the matte side than I would typically go for because I tend to like glowy foundations. The shade actually ended up being a pretty good match for me. And if you do a light layer and then I use all of the glowy setting sprays, all of the highlighter, you don't need a lot to cover really well, and especially because it's a good shade match. I actually really like it, and every day this month since I bought this that I've worn foundation, it's been this foundation. I use a beauty sponge because it is more matte and I feel like it just, the finish goes on a lot smoother with a beauty blender, but I am actually a huge fan of this foundation. This is probably, other than the e.l.f. foundation that comes in a little glass jar, like my favorite drugstore foundation I ever tried, so love this stuff. Okay, so moving on from makeup into more like skincare type items. This is an oldie but a goodie, but this is definitely, especially because I haven't been wearing makeup as often this month, a favorite. This is the Badescu facial spray. My favorite, I've tried all of the scents, but I always come back to the aloe, cucumber, and green tea one, just because I love aloe. Anything aloe is like my favorite. And this I love because not only is it a great post-makeup spray, and it kind of helps meld all your powders and make your skin look really skin-like, I also love it as an extra hydration step at the end of my skincare routine. So after I go through my whole skincare routine, I always spray this, and I just feel like it's refreshing, it feels nice, it's soothing, and it just is a great finishing hydration step. I notice more hydration in my skin overall when I'm using this regularly, so I feel like that's wonderful. And it's relatively inexpensive, so I usually get them on sale. This size I think you can get for like $7. I've gotten one of the big ones for $12. I keep the little bottles because it fits better in my little skincare fridge thing that I use. And then I have a bigger one that I refill from, and that tends to work pretty well for me. Sometimes I'll mix up the scent, like I said. The rose one's nice, the lavender one's nice, but this is the best one. It's the best one. Okay, so another thing that's new to me this month, that's like one of my favorite things that I've been using, is this SIMA Dermaplaning tool. So it's actually electric, and it has a couple of intensity settings. It has a couple of intensity settings, and this, you've seen before, the Dermaplaning tools where you kind of basically are scraping your face, and not only does it get rid of peach fuzz, but it actually is good for like physically exfoliating. Dermaplaning's a thing. I've had the little like non-electric razors, but I feel like they tend to get dull pretty fast, and if it's too dull, I mean obviously you don't want it sharp like a razor blade, but if it's too dull, I feel like I'm irritating my skin more because I'm pressing harder and rubbing harder. You want to make sure you're coming like pretty level with your face with it when you use it, and also not press too hard, but this is really, really great. You could buy replacement heads for it, but I feel like because, like I said, because it vibrates, I don't feel the need to press as hard when I use it, and I really, really do notice a difference when I'm using this stuff. Probably more because of the peach fuzz and the exfoliation, because I exfoliate my face a lot anyway. I notice a difference in how my makeup goes on because my skin just feels smoother without the peach fuzz. It doesn't catch on texture. But like I said, this is definitely a favorite. I've been using it and I'm very, very happy with the purchase, especially I think I paid like around $30 for it, not including the pack of extra refills I got. It's way easier and more convenient than the manual ones, so really love this. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, this is the Ulta Beauty Pedi Pebble. So they come in these little individual packages. They have a couple of scents. I think there was this sea salt one and then some kind of like raspberry one, and they were on sale, so I got 2 of each scent. And I've had the other sea salt one in my shower for a while, and I really like it. So basically the premise is it's a exfoliating foot treatment bar, it says on the package. So it's got little scrubbies that's kind of, it's basically like a scrubby soap, bar of soap. But it does have like coconut oil and shea butter, so it's kind of nice because I use like a pumice stone for my heels. They tend to get really dry really quickly, so like a few times a week I take a pumice stone to my heels in the shower. But this is nice because I feel like not only does it exfoliate surprisingly well for not being a pumice stone, it also has those nice hydrating ingredients so that I feel like it's kind of a 2-in-1, if that makes sense, where when I get out of the shower after pumice stoning my feet, they feel like really stripped and extra dry until I moisturize them, but then they don't have that cracked look anymore. But this kind of feels like it takes care of the exfoliating and the moisturizing in one. Like I said, I got these probably at the end of March or beginning of April, and I'm not even through one of them completely, but I'm very, very happy with it, and I use them a ton, and I really like the way they work. And they smell nice too, that's a bonus. I haven't actually even opened the raspberry one because I don't want to open the package before I'm ready to use it. But this seesaw one of these is super nice. So the last thing that I feel like I have to mention in this month's favorites video is my Nespresso machine. Again, I'll link my video up in the cards that I did recently in my go-to iced caramel macchiato recipe. I talk a lot about the machine in there too, kind of how it works. It's really easy, you put pods in it, it's like a Keurig in that sense. The pods are kind of expensive, but I've saved so much money not going to Starbucks or Dunkin' to get an iced whatever espresso every day, and it's amazing. I like the coffee even more, so now going to Starbucks is just if I want some kind of like specialty treat or I don't want to make it myself, but it's so easy and so fast. It's so nice, especially right now, to not be leaving the house for something as silly as that, and it's absolutely amazing. So if you're interested in seeing more about that recipe, I'll be sure to link that video. Alright guys, and that is everything for my April favorites. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I upload every Tuesday and Friday, beauty, lifestyle, fashion content. We have a lot of fun here. We like memes and funny things and cats and dogs. And I'm rambling now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys!